Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. Thanks so much for joining. Today I want to talk to my INFJs out there. You guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about how world events can affect how you feel and maybe even interact with other people. This is something that's super important to understand because your interpersonal relationships can suffer if you don't understand your gift. And I've talked about this a little bit before on this channel. INFJs are the most likely to suffer from narcissistic abuse. And that's the reason why I have talked about them the most on this channel. I'm ENFJ and my core personality is an A, assertive. Your core personality type does influence how your personality type is experienced, right? Like how you display that to the world. Most INFJs that I deal with, that are my clients, are T, turbulent at the end, right? Their core personality is a T. I really want to talk to you guys really quickly about how world events, how external atmospheres can impact you. You guys are what they call super empaths, right? So you're not just an empath. I'm an empath. My second letter is N. I'm ENFJ, right? I'm external, and then my second letter is N for intuition, intuitive. And so I'm an empath as well, but y'all are super empaths. So you make these double caves. You make the one of your N and you make the one of your I. So you got these double caves, right, that I've talked about in one of my previous videos. This is the best way that I can describe what's actually going on. It's like, not only are you not penetrable, you purposefully set up these spaces where you don't want people to be able to get in there. You might love people, but you've created these double caves, and inside of those double caves, all you're hearing is your own voice. You don't let anybody in there, and that can be very destructive for y'all. What's even more destructive is that if you haven't learned how to use your gifting, so you don't actually know how to deal with being an empath, how to make sure that you control your energy, how to take care of your personal atmosphere, like in your home or your work, your car, whatever it may be, you don't know how to do that, then we have external events happening, right? We have a global pandemic, we have election turmoil, we have whatever might be going on in your specific city. Maybe there was rioting in your city or some other thing going on, right? This is now extremely disruptive because you are experiencing the atmosphere of your double caves. And again, if you haven't done a good job of maintaining a healthy atmosphere in there, you've got that compounded by what's going on outside of you. Outside of your home, outside of your work, the general atmosphere of the place that you're living in. And I do think it's important to note that there are trigger points along the way, right? So maybe you're not doing a great job of maintaining your inner world, and then there's a situation that happens external to you, but that already is a trigger point for you. Maybe you're not directly involved in let's say the looting or the rioting or the election situation. You don't even live in DC, let's say, but there's something about those events that is triggering something in you, that is bringing up some sort of place, especially for the people who are higher on the J, when their last letter is J for judgment. So their feeling of right and wrong, their sense of justice is sparked. Okay, now we are bringing up old issues that we didn't ever deal with. We're not doing a good job of maintaining our inner world. Now we have this external atmosphere, which just isn't events happening. You can actually feel the energy of the atmosphere, and it's sparking, it's triggering something from your past, something that didn't get resolved, and you're feeling that sense of judgment coming up, right? This is a recipe for disaster for your interpersonal relationships, okay? What can happen is that you're saying all kinds of things to people that you care about that you actually don't mean. You're taking it out on the ones closest to you because those are the ones that you can reach at this moment, right? Those double caves make it difficult for people to get into your atmosphere and to really know you. But the ones who do know you, you're comfortable enough with them to kind of lash out at. But this can have very grave repercussions on those relationships. And especially if people don't understand INFJ, they don't understand what a super empath is, they don't understand any of these other external things that are going on, how it's triggering something from your past, the atmosphere, and how this has to do with how you react and things like that. By the way, this doesn't even have to make any kind of sense, right? The way that you respond, everybody might be able to be saying like, that's a crazy reaction to have, that doesn't even make sense. But that doesn't negate the things that you say or do in that moment of feeling all of this pressure and not really knowing how to handle it or what to do with it, or there's no place to channel it. So number one, I talk about this the most on this channel, is know thyself. You need to know about yourself. So I know that and by the way, we're all learning, so I don't say this from a place of judgment. Actually, I had a great opportunity to learn about how my sense of judgment can be so over the top, right? Recently, even just within the past few weeks, I saw that, okay, that part of my J took over in that moment, and I need to recognize when that sense of justice is coming up, because I'm more likely to overreact, and it's actually not justice at all at that point, right? So I don't say this from a place of judgment at all. I'm saying we need to know ourselves. You need to know about your personality. You need to know about what all of those letters mean and how that comes out for you specifically. I like it when people know the percentages of which ones that they are, which is why I suggest taking the 16 personalities test, which really gives you a breakdown of how much each of those letters you actually are. Again, like my J is high 90s. So when I see some injustice happening, my first reaction, again, the first reaction will be to overcorrect the situation and to make sure that never happens again, and to overcorrect, overpunish, if you will, whatever the situation might be. You need to know yourself, because you need to know those tendencies and how that's going to look for you. And if you can look back on your past and see times where you maybe have made these types of mistakes, it can really help you to learn about yourself and your gifting a lot quicker. Everybody with the T at the end, you guys have, that's, the T stands for turbulent. You need to understand how that alone will play out, right? I'm A, my last letter is A, which stands for assertive. The way that I interpret events, I'm ENFJ-A, the way that I interpret events is going to look different than somebody who's an ENFJ-T. And by the way, I have a good friend who's a T. He's ENFJ-T. And we get along very well. We think about things very much the same. But there are some times where some things will be more irritating to him, and it doesn't bother me at all. And there are other times where I'm going to be quick to assert my opinion in a situation where he's like, I don't know, let's wait and find out what that situation is all about. So you need to know yourself. You need to know that how you specifically will react in situations where these the key parts of your personality are going to be awakened. So that's number one, know yourself. And number two is to understand that not all of your feelings are your feelings. The things that you feel aren't necessarily coming from inside of you. And this is a big problem with empaths in general, definitely with super empaths. If all of the I and N's out there, if you have I and then you have an N, regardless of your last two letters, you need to be paying attention to this video too, because you also have a double cave, and you need to know that the feelings that you're feeling aren't always yours. And so what to do with that situation, what to do when you're feeling feelings that aren't yours. Number one is to identify that. You need to be able to say, these feelings I'm having are not mine. They're not mine. But I'm meant to be a healer. By the way, all of the I and the N's, those super empaths, you're here to be healers. You have the natural ability to sense where there is pain, and the purpose of that is not so that you feel pain. The purpose of that is so that you can correct it. It's so that you can bring healing into that situation. So number one, identify when you are feeling something that isn't yours. You have to be able to separate yourself from the general atmosphere. Lots of empaths cannot do this, regardless of if you're EN or IN, and that's because you don't sit with yourself. You don't know yourself. You don't invest in understanding yourself. You have no quiet time, no prayer time, no meditation time. You don't use float tanks. You don't get into nature. You have no idea who you are. You need to do that. You need to spend time by yourself processing. You need to have a safe space where you go every day. I suggest twice a day, and you are able to process everything that has happened to you in not only in the past, but also just in that period of time during the day. This is especially true if you find yourself not able to identify if those feelings are yours or not. You're never going to be able to do that on your own. You're going to need to be able to, like in the state that you're in right now, you need to have a space where you can process all of that. So sit with yourself, get into meditation, get into your quiet time in prayer, go try float tanks. You need to spend time where these feelings are not just like repressed inside of you. You haven't just taken on all of this energy and then it has no place to go. You need to be intentional about allowing those things to come up and out. And this will also help you to learn yourself too, because you need to know yourself. You need to know when you're being triggered because you have a strong one of those personality traits is being activated. It's being awakened for you. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that you need to know how to channel it appropriately. Lots of people don't understand how to use their energy, where to channel it, and how to shut it off when it's an inappropriate place to be channeling the energy. The inappropriate place to be channeling your energy is not to take out the frustration that you have at the political situation onto your family and friends. It is not appropriate to take out the frustration that you have at the toxic work environment that you work in on your family when you come home. It's not appropriate to blow up at your kids over small issues that have nothing to do with anything except that you see an outlet for those emotions. That's not a healthy outlet. You see where I'm coming from? You see what I'm trying to get at? This is about channeling your energy appropriately and learning how to manage and process the energy. INFJs are also the rarest type of personality, and so there's not a lot of y'all in the world. Out of all the people, you're the least one, right? But what would help you the most is to find yourself a mentor who can help you learn about INFJs. And I've talked about this in some of my previous videos about how to use your gift, because you are super empaths. You should be able to feel the energy for entire regions and be able to appropriately respond to that energy. You're meant to be healers. That's your gift. But all blessings will be curses if you don't know how to use them. So if you can, find yourself a mentor who can help you understand and really walk with you as you learn to develop this gift. This is a gift that you have to learn about. It isn't just going to be naturally given to you when the rest of the world is not INFJ. The rest of the world is not. So the 1% of y'all who are INFJ, you have to know how to handle this, because the world is going to keep doing what it's doing. You're just going to continue to absorb the energy instead of understanding how to channel it, how to shift it. Okay? So for the rest of this time, I just want to do a breathing exercise with y'all. This is a good breathing exercise to do anytime that you're stressed. If you have anxiety, if you have panic attacks, this is a really good exercise for y'all to know how to do, but also for people who have a hard time going to sleep, shutting off their mind. Maybe you can't get into a quiet place. Maybe you've tried to have quiet time, but you can't do it because your brain won't stop giving you thoughts. By the way, don't judge. When you have those thoughts, don't judge yourself or judge the thoughts. If you're sitting in your quiet time and you can't really get deep into the meditation that you're focusing on, just accept the situation for what it is and just keep doing it. It'll get easier and easier over time, but all of those thoughts are unprocessed things in your life, and you need to let those come out, you know, as you're in that quiet space. So I want to do this breathing exercise with you guys. This will shut down your parasympathetic nervous system, your fight, flight, or freeze response that's activated. Your body cannot do both. Your body cannot do both this breathing and have the parasympathetic nervous system activated at the same time. So you will close down that feeling of anxiety. You will shut off the hormones that are being released into your bloodstream by doing this breathing exercise. So we're going to breathe in for 7 counts, we're going to hold for 4, and then we're going to breathe out for 11 counts. If that is too long, then start with, do 3, 4, 6. So breathe in for 3 counts, hold for 4, and breathe out for 6 counts, and work your way up to 7 for 11. So we're going to breathe in for 7 counts, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, out for 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do that 4, 5, 6 times before you go to sleep. Get into the habit of doing this breathing exercise even when you're not stressed, because your body does have muscle memory. Your body will remember what to do when it gets into fight, flight, or freeze response, and it will start doing the breathing exercises automatically without you even thinking about it. It will activate a coping mechanism for you automatically, but you have to get in the habit of doing it. So you guys, if nothing else, I hope that you have learned something that can help you dispel your thoughts when you are trying to go to sleep, that you understand that energy transfer is a real thing, that you, especially if you are INFJ or IN, anything, you need to know how to manage the energy around you, because you are super empath and you are going to be picking up on everybody's stuff. And you need to know how to manage that, because there's no way around that. That's just going to be your life. And so you don't want to have a miserable life. You want to be able to do your purpose and to do it without picking up a whole bunch of junk every time that you're around people. So you guys, I hope this video has helped you. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel below and turn on the little bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.